Well, welcome to the United Matters channel. Ugarte to United, a must happen. And this story is coming in through from Marca, that is Spain, that by the deadline day, obviously, everything will be done and dusted and all will be okay and everything will be moving on to the wire. That is on the deadline day. Welcome to this channel. Smash the like button, comment and share. If you're totally watching us for the very first time, and never to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. We also have Lawrence coming out and confirming to us why he believes United are not in the mood to obviously sign Manuel Ugarte, another red flag into the deal of Manuel Ugarte. And then there is a story coming in through from Give Me Sport on how Ruud van Nistelrooy has gone ahead to be tasked to obviously make Rasmus Hojlund a deadly number 9. And yesterday we saw Lindelof moving on clutches, and obviously that should be something worrying the club and the fans of Manchester United, because he was one of the players that we thought we could move on during the summer transfer window and obviously use his money to obviously strengthen the squad in any way possible that we deserve. We thank God for the gift of life. The Muslims thank Allah for the gift of life, and let's obviously get going and running into the mix. Now, let's obviously start it off with a story coming in through from Marca that reads, everything points to Manuel Ugarte being at Old Trafford before the deadline on August 30th. That is it. Now, why is it August 30th? Because 31st, I think 31st is going to be when? Because today is 18th, and you add on other 7 days, it's going to be 28, right? 28. No, it's going to be 25, right? And 25 days, that means when you add on 5 days, it's going to be a Friday. You get? And 31st and 1st are going to be Saturday and Sunday, and that means the summer transfer window would have already gone ahead to be closed. They don't want to obviously postpone it to the levels obviously dilly-dallying around, and they want everything to get done and dusted. Most times, it's always postponed to the 1st of September, if at all. I haven't gone ahead to know why. You know, why did they set it as 30th? But that's what you're getting in from Marca. But they say everything points to Manuel Ugarte at Old Trafford before the deadline on August 30th. And I told you the story yesterday about how the man is pushing to obviously join the club of Manchester United. He's like, it's now, and I want to go, because even in the game you played over the weekend, I was not part of the squad. What better message do you send to me that you no longer need me? And why would you want to obviously get a lot of money from a player that you no longer need? And United is willing obviously offer you 50 million euros. You are making a loss of just 10 million euros, and you're like, we need 70. But the good thing is that they are willing to obviously take a pay cut to see to it that they really get this guy at the club of Manchester United. So that is really very impressive. And if sources, you know, Marca is one of the credible sources that works in Spain. You get? And you might obviously ask yourself why a Spanish outlet is really trying to be so much accurate on the deal of this guy known as Manuel Ugarte. They are trying to be so accurate. Reason being that they are the side that corroborates a lot with George Mendes. You know, George Mendes has a lot of clients in Spain, and you've gone ahead to see Marca drop very many stories. Like, remember the story of Cristiano Ronaldo? It was dropped by Marca that he has gone ahead to do what we call a pre-contract with Real Madrid and will be a Real Madrid player in 2008. But the family of Ronaldo managed to convince him to obviously extend one more year for the club of Manchester United, and he left in 2009 and signed for Real Madrid. All those stories were broken by Marca, and Marca has broken very many huge stories of very many big players that really do the needful and are being managed by the agent of Manuel Ugarte, that is George Mendes. And if I told you, you've gone ahead to hear that Marca has come out and really said everything points at this deal getting done. Obviously, something's going to be orchestrated, because for Manuel Ugarte, he can't be at PSG, I tell you, because even PSG won't want to keep him because the manager has gone ahead to sideline him and they want him out. You get? And as we approach the deadline, like the deadline of the summer transfer window, because today is 18th and we are left with just 12, 13 days for this to come to an end, then we obviously anticipate a lot of movement for those players that are really not wanted at the club. And I think United is also using that chance to see to it that everything moves into their direction and really tell PSG that we have such and such amount of money. And for this deal to happen, PSG has to dance to the terms of Manchester United, as the agent also is willing to do the needful. He's working tooth and nail to get this deal done and dusted. Manuel Ugarte is also piling pressure onto the side of PSG, that please, a team is there for me, they want me, they're getting you the money, can you please let me go? And if it goes to the worst, we might see him sign for Manchester United on loan. That's also possible, I tell you, because they've gonna hate to do these things of loaning players for a very long time. You remember Renato Sanchez, they've loaned him how many times? There is another guy called Xavi Hernandez. For 3 consecutive seasons, he has been playing on loan from PSV to RB Leipzig, and he's back to RB Leipzig, and they're doing it for very many of their players, and they find themselves living that life. So I think even for Manuel Ugarte, I cannot rule out that. I tell you, I can't come out and rule out that, because I believe it's really gonna be a very huge fight, for a very huge fight between PSG and Manuel Ugarte to come to the club of Manchester United, as the player is pushing to get this done and dusted. And I believe it will come to pass in favor of Manchester United, because I believe Casemiro, however much he looked a good player, he's not that kind of player that you believe will give you that ever and ever and ever. For the first 2 competitive games we're going to hit to play, Casemiro has been looked sublime. He not yet like a prime one, but he shows you signals that if he's like that in the 2 games we're going to hit to play really competitive, how is he going to be looking when United gets into the mix to get in like 5-6 games? By the time we go to the international break, would have gone to get in 4 in his tank, and after getting 4 in his tank, I believe that whole will move to pass and to the positive corner. So let's wait and see whether that comes to pass, as the side of Marca is really revealing that this deal of Manuel Ugarte to Manchester United is one of those that will happen before the deadline really closes. So I'm all excited to see to it that everything really moves on as planned for the side of Manchester United, and I just can't wait to see Manuel Ugarte coming through. And I tell you, they are pushing to sign and get in this player, because it's the priority, and they haven't gonna hit to miss out on their priority signings. And I believe that even on this one, they're not gonna miss out, because the need, the urge, the intent is there for both clubs to see to it that they come to an agreement. After PSG agreed to obviously take a pay cut, I think a lot is happening behind the scenes, and this week it's gonna be working on a midfielder. You are gonna see United linked to very many midfielders. I tell you, very many midfielders from all different walks of life are gonna be linked to the club of Manchester United. And I tell you, this week we are going to be doing lots and 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 lots of stories concerning midfielders, right? Of midfielders linked to Manchester United, as that is the remaining department that United needs to strengthen immediately. That is it. So that's what you're getting in through from Marca from Spain. And let's get into a story coming from Give Me Sport, as Ruud van Nistelrooy has been given another task. Now, I've been told by Give Me Sport that club insiders are hoping Ruud van Nistelrooy could be the inspirational signing that will turn Rasmus Hojlund into a feared striker. Obviously, if you remember what this guy, the South African guy, if you remember what he really did to Marcus Rashford and came out and scored 30 goals, though in the next season Marcus Rashford fell off, you cannot downplay this proven striker known as Ruud van Nistelrooy. And I think he's one of those people that you believe are really going to come up and really put in a very huge shift. You understand? And in the due course of putting in that shift, it won't really stay the same. You know, Rasmus Hojlund scored 16 goals last season, and I believe with him working with Ruud van Nistelrooy, he's really gonna score very, very many goals because his running is really gonna be improved, right? And a lot is really gonna show up for the side of Rasmus Hojlund because he's working with a proven striker, and each and every time he really tells him do this, Rasmus will be like, this guy is really proven. I supported Manchester United since my childhood, and I saw him really net those goals in, and I'm like ready to do the needful. And when was Rasmus Hojlund born? Because he's 21 years of age. That means he was born in 2021. That means this is 2024, right? And he's 21. 2024, let me see. 10 years minus 2024, you get 2000. You get 2014, take off 10, that is 20. You get 2004, meaning that she was born in 2003. And I think if she was watching football, because Van Nistelrooy left United around 2006, but I think he knew that there was a striker known as Ruud van Nistelrooy that was really scoring goals for fun, and he knows how world class he was, and everything points at him being improved by Ruud van Nistelrooy, something that we all admit is really going to happen and come into the best way possible for the lad known as Rasmus Hojlund. And I know a lot is really going to go his way, and nothing is really going to stop him from obviously winning and winning and winning and winning and winning and winning. So that is Rasmus Hojlund for you, and I believe a lot is really going to be happening for him. Remember, for Joshua Zirkzee, he has a little bit of experience. He was at Bayern Munich, and he was coached by very many good and talented people. Then at Bologna, that's when he went for perfection. But this guy from Copenhagen, right, in Denmark, to Stan Gram, is it Stan Gram? You know, then to Atalanta. You know, he never played for a high-profile club, and for the very first season in a high-profile club, he scored 16 goals as a number 9, meaning that if Ruud van Nistelrooy comes in through and polishes him a little bit, he'll obviously come in through and score very many goals for the club of Manchester United as Rasmus Hojlund. And I know that role is going to be perfected very well by Ruud van Nistelrooy. And I think that's the main role that brought him all, and that brought him to Manchester United. And the other role was for him to come up and obviously plan new attacking styles for the club of Manchester United. He's really trying to coach all the forwards: Sancho, Amad Diallo, Rasmus Hojlund, Zirkzee, Bruno Fernandes, Mason Mount, who else? Name it. Everyone you talk about. Rashford, Garnacho, Anthony, all of those are under his coaching, and he's trying to really plan the attacking systems for the club of Manchester United. Then, this is a shocker. The guy known as Lindelof is really injured. That is it. Victor Lindelof is injured, as you see him there. He is really injured, and I'm asking myself what really happens, because you see him moving on clutches, and he's saying doing everything in slow motion these days because he's really injured, and we don't know which type of injury he's really holding, and that really kicks him out of the transfer window to obviously leave the club of Manchester United. And I think this is the full stop for United to sign in another central defender, and that means it's over. It's all over for the club of Manchester United to get in a player of the caliber of Victor Lindelof, right? And I think it's done and dusted, and it's not going to really be happening into the best way possible to obviously gate Lindelof out of the club of Manchester United. And that means we might look out on January to sell him, or see him really sign a pre-contract and leave out on a free. That's what we're anticipating in here onto the side known as Victor Lindelof. And Leny Yoro was pictured a little bit. Leny Yoro was also pictured in Manchester, also on clutches and also in his protective boot down there, trying to obviously put in the best way possible to really heal and wish him a quick recovery as Leny Yoro. So, as it stands, those are the defenders. 2 defenders injured, but the good thing is that we are having a little bit of we're having some defenders fit. That is Lisandro Martinez, John Evans, Harry Maguire, and Matthias de Ligt. 4 defenders fit, and I believe they can take us through until these ones really coming through and join us, you know, into the mix. So that's what you are getting in through from the side of Manchester United. I call upon for your reactions into the comment section below on whether you think Marca is right to say that Ugarte to United is a must-happen transfer. That is Marca from Spain. Do you think they're right and they're really they're telling us the truth that it's really a must-happen? And secondly, what do you make of Nistelrooy, Rasmus Hojlund new task? You know, what do you make about it? And Lindelof, do you think we are going to move him on, or he's going to be living on a free? Because right now he's injured and you cannot sell a player who is really injured. And Lenny Yoro,